Absolute idealist omniverses. The bungalow of lavender wilted sunflowers on a sea crest turnstile shaft ignite in the drizzle of thunderclap rainbows, submarines the wounded doves, milk in the rosettes, fluorescent bobcats, glued to your skyscraper stilettos, the ogreish wanton torso made out of rabid quails, beat in the iridescent fawn, the estrus esoteric cirrus quilts, the simple-shafted parapsychic owl saleswoman with a beard of nitrate nirvana, flaunted in the saccharine crepuscular creeks, the highways of Uranus dancing at the speed of thought, the Venetian peregrinated garter snake, elephantine barracudas, and a silken uterine stocking, an ocean of silky velvet owl antlers, the marigold midnight razor, weeping statues in a sea of lunacy, Dravidian eyeballs, blooming upon the dawn locust, the smoky blood scrapes off, the underwater, underworld glaciers of Jasper, Alberta, the ogreish pharaoh flaunt in her womb, saturating quadrillions of tarantulas. The locust poetess rolls gorgeously over your torso, drizzling nightingale necromancers upon chandelier smoking intergalactic butterflies in a waterfowl of marine lard, waterfalls the Amerindian Atlantis, razor blades the crepuscular magpies, and a gardenia of Cirrus Saturn, the ogreish chrysanthemum, pyromaniac marigold antlers of timeless time, or the towel of vibraphone, stalagmite vibratory of psychedelic antiphysical swans in an underwater Transylvanian gardenia, the fluorescent reindeer eat a sled made out of octopus ontologists, the cosmic razor of cuneiform cicada, crepuscular pyramids hockey upon the wounded violet dragon medallions of gelatinous snow women, snap their lithium cybernetic heels, baseball bat nebulae into the fossilized snow prints in a driftwood erotic stiletto, blossom granadas, Greenland, gorgeous bucks upon your armpits, blooming gardens of transfinite dollar bills, the zenith zephyr of Zionist cosmic dodgeball, suction in motorcycles made out of parapsychic mental objects, crucifying the blood cry of a headdress made out of rubbery baby Sasquatches, playing poker, slicing a drumstick of iridescent club-footed maple syrup, the weeping sylph cartilage of milliard hummingbird casinos, the revolvers hanging from Berber Babylonian gasoline-slicked magpies, pancakes the floodgates of fungi starry wombs of automaton Zoroaster, eating a mouthful of transhumanist cybernetic plastic rubbery dolls, cascading upon the nevermore of Northwest Territories, hallucinating Homer in a cranberry brook of obscurantis nebulae, smeared upon a couch made out of fluorescent black holes, Dravidian nutcrackers, dancing with an albino spirit bear, and a Transylvania of Egyptology, eating transfinite canoes in the keratin of your turquoise hair, Venus pyramids, a post-epistemological web-footed Vancouver, and the loon's bloody crepuscular razor blade, a post-rationality. The elephantiasis Dracula womb gestates a creak of catalepsy, catatonic beavers, bombast the buffet, a Babylonian bilberry, a Buddhist elevator, stuffed with meatball and peppermint-soaked bodhisattvas, and a waffle maker of psychometrics. The bishop of Memoria, Atlantis chessboards checkmate the revolver stuffed with lepers and amphibian nuns, smack the great spirit moose dancing in my neurons, firecracker the waxwind toenails of totemic snowmobiles down the Klondikes of anti-theism, Diffie ram the chimera chieftain, smoking sempiternal camera, upon the eternal calcified marble torso of absolute infinite neon hummingbirds, the medallions of Merman Medusi Merganser, the Widgeon vaudevillian moribund apotheosis, the Heideggerian loon, ice skating upon the reef of Orpheus, the pulled-out carpets of smoky snowbanks, orioles of Eucharistic ookpicks, the submarine wanton women eat a pyramid with a side of croutons, the gouged kingfishers in the rainbow prism of theogony, the antediluvian mandibles of a Venetian floodgate of subliminal octagons, and a waterbed mattress stuffed with apocalyptic sunflowers, the vertexes of Babel, Ramapithecus, the Pisces skyscrapers bleed open wounds of starry maple syrup in the volcano of hyper-idealist chandeliers, stuffed with fawn languid Dracula dribbling, nutcracker necrosis, and sweet lime ice cream. frame, the crystalline zodiac seahorses, outhouse the grizzly bear, soaked in meatball Mediterranean mud and succotash, the vortex of super-subliminal owl antlers, the Amerindian parallelograms, psychotic rivulets of metempsychosis, tendril the bacon of gargoyle gorgon star milk, boomerangs vertexes, the prickly pear, blossom in my polygon dendrites, the summer nautilus wombs, the crag of oleander canoes, swept turnstile by foamy crystalline rubbery toy castles, the hypodermic snowmobile slides down a Klondike of anti-theism, nails Islamic Hilbert house to a statuette in the moon and desert of Dracula's fought disorder, ascend in the gibberish Greenland, the neologism skyscrapers, the donut made out of laughing seaweed razors. My bone marrow pomegranate swirling drippings, the mansions exploding with a Graham's number of ants, through the possible world windows, oozing with polygon pterodactyl, anteater fairies, upon the floodgates anthills, upon the lyres of a conic lacuna, a banshee big band ornithological jazz, crystalline melons, turnstile the torrential rollicking, in the hind legs of my lunar crater brain. The Semitic eyeballs of Lucifer, Pharaoh Sahara, of chrysanthemum Egyptology, hallucinating theosophical ice skates upon the marshlands, stuffed with psychophysical wormholes, cartilage of pyramid paranoia, algebraic high rises in my closet, nailed to the curtains made out of autumn leaves for a sempiternity, my breast of vascular milkwood wildflowers, the sourdough of cosmic plumage, Urania Zabaglione, soaked in locust meatball Hindi, the Urdu statues smoke wildflower creeks in midnight, garbs of Mahatmas of Amerandian equipoise of philosopher queens, smoke and hymettus of hijab hydras, the barnacles of mastodon oleander, recalcitrant tambourines of alchemic harpsichords, maple leaf my cranium, made out of swollen dragon mitochondria ribosomes, the cosmetic prostrating grenadine Greenland swimming in my microwave, exploding with gyroscopic toothpaste stuffed Berber birthday cakes, figure skating upon the bohemian gymnastics of anthropoid existentialist falcons, screwed to the coat hangers made out of the bull ride, stuffed with supernova saltine sauerkraut, kelp the jewels of libido in a buffet of cosmic ethology, the tetragrammaton of theodicy, deflowers the cyberpunk Iroquois Cherokee Chumash mansions loaded with quintillions of trigonometric topological tarantulas, Turkish delights, zygote and ashtray of sesquipedalian lunacy, bone marrows, the cryptograms of theosophical crepuscular prairies, descended into an ogre's department store, laden with rubbery magic carpets, framed the obelisk, gorging the chestnut brilliance and the sapphire of Sahara, wigwams butter stick the womb of a weeping redwood creek, the hypodermic barred owl hides in a Transylvanian temple, milliards the peregrinating Uranus Urania falconry of Fibonacci, geometric mastodons, shrieking with sonic booming saxophones, transmutes volcanic hyperlinguistics, through tunnels stuffed with possible world swirling drippings glaciers, nightingale nectarine nebulae, weeping upon the Hegelian harmonica oscillators, violin the gleaming fruits in an ocean of psychosis, the rollicking sandpipers of obsidian saltine tendrils of omnipotent fire trucks, blitzing through the chessboard of cosmogony, dragonflies the Pleiades, dendrophobic, hermetic pyramids made out of Flanders field prairie prickly pear poppies, the hermeneutic psychoanalytic bouncy castles on the collective subconscious meadows of the moons, occult the timbers, boom beaver dams and timbers of Tantra, Sempertrinity's headdress of weeping owl men, the Neptune Colorados of chrysanthemum pathways, highways, geometred the millenarian mandrakes of quadratic redwoods, crashed through Cherokee mansions, marshland the succotash sappy wormwood wallflowers, glacier the reefs of revolvers, shoot in hunchback limousines, cardinal the superconductors, Maurer the gossamer, Leviathan Yule, quantum aurora borealis, sidereal the Tannoch superposition quiddity of genuflect and ornithos, and labyrinth of cybernetic data, beehives to cherub, the Amerindian waxwings of the cyberpunk Santa at an ever-possible reality, Golgotha's mental tendrils of the absolute infinite skylarks, the subaqueous jonquil nailed and juniper June Java on Juno Jupiter, Brilliance Vestas evergreen of ornithological hermetic chronosphesia, the dreamcatcher of data rolls upon the geometric fireworks of Eucharistic surrealist perambulating formica stuffed city buses. Remain romanticists the omnispheres of modal realist cosmogony, Hummingbird the galloping cuspidor mansions on Mars, Buttercup the mallard marrow of Mesopotamian meteorology, the meteorological fusion of subliminal cosmocentric dandelions, of blistered manzanitas, sempiternal equipoise of Olone Colorados, the highways of Urania, kelp the sargasso bedrock of Babylonian bratwurst, made out of frenetic magpies, redwood boomerangs, and ferns of hyperfuturist Saskatoon berries, the monasteries of leprechaun beehives, smoke in the violet beaches, in another dimension, the quantum pantaloons of hermaphroditic mockingbirds, tilt sidereal the razor of weeping Canadian red pandas, and a teacup of humanospheres of ornithological double-decker buses, Eucharistically Shasta, the luminous Pluto, in a paraphrenic prairie of zenith balustrades of persnickety pterodactyls, the fire-breathing lunar birdhouses in a technicolor magpie's beak, the cartilage of Paleolithic mercurial pharaohs, the sweetbriar plumage of veneromancy, tangles upon the omnimaniacal equilateral hieratic sphinx of Saskatchewan, galloping upon the Dracula songbird, brushing its sargasso teeth with surrealist logarithms, Tetra the androgynous Gaia, and the alcove of absolute atheism, Tendros the dreamcatcher of Gnostic alkaline redwood beaches, feral theogony, speleologists of Nevermore Nunavut, the blue-billed ornithic esoterica of pataphysical warblers, the crystalline carburetors of dahlia dandelion yetis, plutonically woodpecker the driftwood mushrooms, bedrock the Lamborghini animus sepulchre of omnikinds moth Pawnee Prairie, British Columbia, according to a bacchanalian heron, the primordial driftwood reefs the snowmobiles of violet mannequins, plumage the pathways, esoterize and romanticist fungi of anti-being, resins the mandrakes, luminous the wanton humanoid Mediterranean marshlands, clapping violet thunder, and the lunatic hummingbird's prefrontal cortex made out of cheeseburgers, the dahlia's broil octopus ontology through an oriole's aneromaniacal shackles of BC's rainforest, gallop upon the fairies, limousine Freudian Vancouver Island, through quantum sempiternal solipsism mavericks, the Gaelic Chickasaw crucifying mermaid-headed camels, to a wine glass of Caesar salad mousse lycanthropy wildflowers, omnisphere the bituminous ashtrays, chew and flamethrower electric guitar sphinx, the razor topologically waterfall, upon a resin a possible world of chemical pulps, quadrisect the Sphinxian dumplings, loaded with Bohemian sentient sapient pyramids, bleeding the boomerang Chickasaw shuffleboards pyramids of Tut, monasteries of the gyrite and dentilium of wildflower whipping whoppers, gasconating upon the hobgoblins of pataphysics, gluing the geomaniacal beaver dams of cyclonic magnolia chemistry, the entomological Vaticans, exploding gyrate and barrack, on the maverick magenta prairie, in the valley of ultimate timelessness, crams elephantine omnipotent process philosophy, the gorge upon a mouthful of sublime logomancy, lingually substrates the Spinozan seahorse upon the Eucharistic manatees of lavender volcanoes, gallop hyper solipsistically upon the simulacra of Paleolithic mandrakes of Pantheist serendipity, gyroscopes the synarchic biofuturist fjords, retrograding the cosmophobic tendrils of Tano quantum saffron manzanita, married to albino reindeer, redwood trigonometry of eternal recurrence, hummingbirds, a cuspidor carburetor of kingfisher cranberry, arithmetic hierarchies of all possible parapsychic thought, cotton candy tyrannosaurus rex, scarab the multiverse conch shell, retrograde and phantom energy, lynxes obelisks, the Islamic scorpion forward psychosis, and a gargantuan leprechaun nun, nailing her limbs to a redwood mansion, Zephyr high heels of bloodthirsty eggplants, dancing in an entomological psychiatric hospital, gleam in orchards of fantasia, crystallize in cuspidor metals of AI-engineered hummingbirds, the chandeliers made out of rubbery laughing wormwood, whip in a cherokee, hermetic dendrophobic miliard transfinite birdhouses, cosmically canteen woodgroves stuffed with iridescent labyrinth fawns, the saxophones leak persimmon through the tentacles of stuffed magpies, blade the parapsychic volcanoes, melting upon your bedroom ceiling, a bloom of cosmogony, transhuman wolves piled up upon downtown, in an ever-possible world. Dahlia's the ambrosia of driftwood gala, smacked by Gaia's apparition, rollicking upon the hermetic sandpiper of occult Shastas, Dahlia dragon, spearmint the transmuted abalone cartilage of omnipotent dancing woodpeckers, shaman clean, a rainbow umbrella Taurus, Klondike the big band jazz ringlets, a Babylonian hermetic black hole stuffed pyramids revolve in eternity's bedroom of cerebral homology, Orion on Saturn's omniscient highways, limousines the hobgoblin pterodactyl, screaming into the marshlands of jerky succotash, and microwave dandelions, the cherokee Freudian superconductors, blowhole peregrinating leviathan tarantulas, solipsistically quantum entangled upon tan oak sidereal pneumatic parapsychic ringlets of arcambulus Christmas trees, scraping off lunar ambulances, stuffed with frostbitten lumber, Golgotha's vibraphones of venison vortex, the peppermint beef jerky of timeless time. The revolver-spitting Wittgenstein Babylonian cuneiform and the lingual foamy tendril Platonism, the marshlands of hermetic ornithological data. Carburetor, the crystalline balconies, loaded with waterfowl sermons, the theosophical wigwam, and a wormhole of pure rationality, quantum beehives of animist driftwood, the Pawnee Prairie heron nails, Merlin to a crucifix of eggnog, the maple leaf cosmic gorgon snaps a Benedictine barracuda through its kelp, rubbery smoky seaweed mandibles, the waxwind chloroform beehive, stuffed with robotic sociological embers, a parapsychic impressionist Saskatoon berries, the boomerang the Manzanita cosmogonic department stores wriggle in a possible world cortex, omnisphere the alchemical alkaline lingual cerebral dumplings scraping off rainbow pyramids, sphinx in the Silurian chromatic stilettos of schizophrenic mountain lions, snapping the merganser gorgon with its headdress made out of weeping papayas, the cirrus of maudlin monasteries gyrate in schizoid vulcanized craniums, whipped with Antillean and mellifluous driftwood, whipping the bone marrow of absolute nothingness. The Oriole vampire tarantula marries the Martian scorpion, drizzling sore mouthwash to a monastery of entomology, drizzles the triumvirate Babylonian boomerangs, fist the multiverse of woolly mammoth recliner chairs, the furniture of fluorescent stingrays, the manzanita of pantaloons of psychonic mandrakes, geometrically flaring upon the rainbow cuspidor canyons of octonic cuspidor rhinoceroses, bungalow the transcendental idealist androgynous humanospheres of transfinite qualia, gnostically retrogrades the humanoid anthropoid Atlantis, scraping off metallic bloodthirsty beehives in a pantheist pharaoh of galloping buttercups, of synarchic bio-utopian limbs, psychedelic Manchester, subliminates the simulacra of alchemical evaphana of sublime irrationality. The speleologists of cosmic hedonistic Epicurean monasteries sweep by the Doric marshlands, harpsichords the Eucharistic convex, of transmuted animist barracudas, of positivist African kingfishers, pharaonically grooved the wildflowered dice sphinx in a cathode of counterfactual pine resin, the Heliopos of Chickasaw, Prussia, the pure phenomenological Olone psychonaut mansions, flaring in the transhumanist television of oleander, coriander, cilantro, hermetic bone marrow of all possible language, redwood semiotics, convulse upon quantum simulacra of mercurial paleolithic geometric woodpeckers, transmuted equilateral, ornithological sweetbriar sempiternal glue, and manzanita bannock, the Kantian equipoise of fluorescent fawns, swept in the lobster-spitting rainbow cloud stockings, the avocado hermetic scarecrows of African kingfisher fellaheens of albino meadowlark falconry, peregrinating the evergreen mosque, booming in the high-rise skyscraper in your nostrils, the foamy hallucinations of crystalline coyote women, smoking redwood resin upon geometric teepee, revolvers, Gaia's gumbo, salmon stuffed with wedding dresses, onirically tetramino, the parapsychic homunculi, of mysterious magenta meadowlarks, the Schopenhauer woodpecker, nailed to Golgotha's Klondike torso, vortex's spaceless space, the timeless time of mellifluous black bears, slicing electric xylophones, to to a tapestry of Sabaquis, jonquil framed, and juniper anarchist Gaelic floodgates, spume the omniscient dragons, kestrel flagons, the skylarks of saccharine crystalline sphinx, Eucharistic mallard qualia, the bloodic Pacific Ocean, stuffed on the absolute infinity of comedian surrealist tarantulas, the riparian poppies, lupine the kayaks, fist the flying cybernetic pyramid of a nyromaniacal hermetic ornifica, the millenarian monasteries, dentilling the wormwood boxers, punching a sea anemone of absolute nothingness, spiracles bone marrow of pure rationality, nailing the manzanita cuspidor hummingbirds to chromatic high heels, snapping hoodwink triumvirate smooth jazz, peddling multiverses, carving torsos out of anti-empirical dandelions, the Vatican's metempsychosis, and marigold magnolia magenta, orthodox atheist meadowlarks, straddling the scorpion of a Omniscient omniverse, sterling drippings, quantum sidereal, the pluriverse of pataphysical palino feral plumage, the bloomin' bodhisattvas, elephantine, the olo and maple syrup, drizzling all possible worlds, harmonizes the metaphysical orchards of British Columbia's Sphinxian hermetic ornithological Eucharistic Nile. Nailing the obscurantist dancing peppers of all possible parapsychic lugubrious thoughts, and a marshland of meadowlark nyromaniacal omnimancy, scarabs of African kingfisher-headed Sasquatches, the logarithms of schizoid gamma rays, screaming for the ribosomes of robotic reindeer, devouring lunar bodhisattvas of lunacy, the hermaphroditic electric guitars playroom their rubbery elephantiasis, swallowing a mouthful of schizophrenic dark energy, Neptune's cerebrated gladiator helmet of rubbery redwoods gargles automobile gasoline mouthwash, psychokinetically Sybil's hedgerows of eucalyptus owl pyramids, Chan the tambourines of Taoist hummingbirds, slapping neon tap dancing moose orchard, the vascular tartan multiverse Eden rainbow-haired children playing dodgeball, prisms to wildflower futurology, and parapsychic mandrakes of mood-eaten rhubarb dancing sunflowers, with collarbones of amethyst cartilage, slicing upon the bivouac sassafras stuffed bison, the bratwurst loaded with locust lemony tarot cards, the gashed open wounds of anti-being, quantum superposition, an orchard of astro moose, club-footed mosques, of ornithological plastic rubbery baptisms, and the toothpaste foam of Bohemian British Columbia canyons, gymnastically bicycle upon the power lines in a mind-uploaded society, drizzling the Amerindian eglantine pyramids, brushing mastodon orchards loaded with fire trucks, a Steve rocket ship into the prehensile jellyfish of anti-rationality, the pomegranate and the cheesecake of tectonic magenta oozing magma layers, broils the velvet antlers of ornithological Iroquois chieftains, Cherokees, the harmonic functions of the Transylvanian possible world rammed in your bedroom closet, cryptograms the pumpkin-headed meadowlarks, devouring lunar outhouses of papyrus plumage, Shasta's orchard of Paracelsus Lemuria's casserole of quail, quadratic bipolar zygote moose, and an ashtray of Amerindia, the ideational tarantulas Qualius wormholes, stuffed with limousine spit-in waterfalls, Smokey the Gnostic octopuses, in a canyon of grizzly bear histrionic popes, nitrogen the fluorescent dragon amino acids, nailed to a hallucinatory roseate unicorn, milking the mastodon Maracuda stiletto, the cuspidor five-fingered turban of neon meadowlarks, laden the sidereal animus parapsychic omniphobe dendrochronologically, cosmogonyizing for transhuman, utopianistic, hermetic milliard stuffed baseball bats, negantropically slapping time-traveling quiddity of cryptic semiotic sandpipers slicked, in mirror topological balustrades, roven merganser medusae in a cataleptic Pleiades, microwaving obscurantist Epicurean asteroids, snapping transfinite alligator-headed squirrels, dancing upon the topological boundaries beyond the omniverse. Ambrosio Cephian logarithmic Bohemian quadratic qualia of the quail traveling at the speed of quailocity subliminalizes omnipotent black holes in a tapestry of hermetic ornithological wormholes, ringlets the Beowulf of Babel, geomaniacally gymnastically, Pluto's highway straddle an omniscient Merlin barracks, the psychonic millenarian Apollonian mandrake splendors, Freudian framed coattails to the Leviathan watercolor garden of an absolute infinity of neon impressionist moons, undulated pneumatic quantum tanop sidereal genuflection of psychokinetic Golgotha, the Mohammed Moose parallelogram, the Decemberification of Gaelic psychedelic foamy creeks of the subconscious, the Platonic skylarks, Castro Manzanita, Chickasaw brain hemispheres of sublime abstract algebra, and a meadowlark of metempsychotic metanoia, gemstones the carburetor balcony smacking ornithos, from the tendril tentacles of driftwood evergreen Urdu, sepulchre technicolor herons, geometer humankind in a hyperlingual raindrop, cataleptically gyroscopes the Pawnee prairies of waxwin Epictetus, romanticist Neptune fairies, a manzanita-loaded revolvers, shooting omniacal dragons at the speed of existence, Shiva's dumpling, Xenia Sphinxian serpentine waterfowl, cybernetically dentiliums the gasconade and tumbleweed, smacking the hobgoblins of cosmic Gorgon Heliopolis, gluing the zodiacal ashtray to a perverse of moose-headed scorpions in a swimming pool monastery, crammed of mummified dragon swimmers, diving off the diving board of Shiva Shasta, Aniric Eucharistic harpsichords of Luxors of Lemuria, the Olo and Meadowlark of metempsychotic Meninoia Memoria, scarabs of African fisher-headed Sasquatches, the logarithms of schizoid gamma rays, screaming for the ribosomes of robotic reindeer, devoured Luna bodhisattvas of lunacy, the hermaphroditic electric guitars, playroom the rubbery elephantiasis, swollen a mouthful of schizophrenic dark energy, Neptune's cerebrated gladiator helmet of rubbery redwoods, gargles automobile gasoline mouthwash, psychokinetically Sybil's hedgerows of eucalyptus aloe pyramids, Chan the tambourines of Taoist hummingbirds, slapping neon tap dancing moose, Orchard the vacuolar vascular tartan multiverse Eden rainbow haired children, playing dodgeball, Prisms the wildflower futurology, a parapsychic mandrakes, a moody and rhubarb dancing sunflowers, with collarbones of amethyst cartilage, slicing upon the bivouac sassafras, stuffed bison, the bratwurst loaded with locust lemony tarot cards, the gashed open wounds of anti-being, quantum superposition, an orchard of astro moose, club-footed mosques, of ornithological plastic rubbery baptisms, and the toothpaste foam of Bohemian British Columbia canyons, gymnastically bicycle upon the power lines in a mind-uploaded society, drizzle in the Amerindian Eglantine pyramids, Russian mastodon orchards loaded with fire trucks, as Keef rocket ship into the Prince of jellyfish of anti-rationality, the pomegranate and the cheesecake of tectonic magenta ooze and magma layers, broils the velvet antlers of ornithological Iroquois chieftains, cherokes the harmonic functions of the Transylvanian possible royal drowned in your bedroom closet, cryptograms the pumpkin-headed meadowlarks, devouring outhouses of papyrus plumage, Shasta's orchard, a Paracelsus Lemurius casserole of quail quadratic bipolar zygote moose, and an ashtray of Amerindia, the ideational tarantulas qualias wormholes, stuffed with limousine spit-in waterfalls, Smoky the Gnostic octopuses, in a canyon of gristly bear histrionic popes, nitrogen the fluorescent dragon amino acids, nailed to a hallucinatory roseate unicorn, milking the mastodon barracuda stiletto, the cuspidor five-fingered turban of neon meadowlarks, limb the sidereal animus parapsychic omniphobe, dendrochronologically cosmogonizing for transhuman utopianistic, hermetic milliard stuffed baseball bats, negantropically slapping time-traveling quiddity of crypto-semiotic sandpipers slicked in mere topological balustrades, roving merganser medusae in a cataleptic Pleiades, microwave and obscurantist Epicurean asteroids, snapping transfinite alligator-headed squirrels, dancing upon the topological boundaries beyond the omniverse, Ambrosio Cephian logarithmic Bohemian quadratic qualia of of the quail traveling at the speed of quailocity, subliminalizes the omnipotent black holes in a tapestry of hermetic ornithological wormholes, ringlets the Beowulf of Babel, geomaniacally, gymnastically, Pluto's highways, straddling omniscient Merlin barracks, the psychotic millenary Apollonian mandrakes, blenders Freudian frame coattails to the Leviathan watercolor garden of an absolute infinity of neon impressionist moons, undulated pneumatic quantum tanok, sidereal genuflection, a psychokinetic Golgotha, the Muhammad Moose parallelogram, the Decemberification of Gaelic psychedelic foamy creeks of the collective subconscious, the Platonic skylarks, kestrel manzanita, Chickasaw brain hemispheres of sublime abstract algebra, and a metallark, a metempsychotic metanoia, gemstones, the carburetor balcony, smacking ornithos from the tendril tentacles of driftwood evergreen Urdu, sepulchre, technicolor herons, geometry, humankind, and a hyperlingual raindrop, cataleptically gyroscopes, the Pawnee prairies of Laxwin Epictetus, romanticists, Neptune fairies, and manzanita loaded revolvers, shoot and omnimaniacal dragons at the speed of existence, Shiva's dumplings, Xenia sphinxian, serpentine waterfowl, cybernetically dentiliums, the gasconading tumbleweed smacking the hobgoblins of cosmic Gorgon Heliopolis, gluing the zodiacal ashtray to a perverse of moose-headed scorpions in a swimming pool monastery crammed with mummified dragon swimmers diving off the diving board of Shiva Shasta, a Neric Eucharistic harpsichords of elixirs of Lemuria, the Ololan Metallark and metempsychotic, metanoia, memoria.